Hello, everyone. How are you? Sorry for the delay. We were trying to figure out some things, and I never pressed send, but Leslie to get the link. So apologize for our lateness, but welcome everyone for joining us today. My name is Leslie Montgomery, and I am LKM Kingdom Living. Leslie's Lessons Learned Facebook Live. And I'm here today with my guest. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this time for her and I to be able to come on and just chat a bit. So, Leslie, thank you so much for being here today. You know, you've been teaching us about organizing our information and putting our information in the right places. And I wanted you to come on because on this show has started as far as self care, what it
Mhm.
is to self care. So, in the past few weeks, we've been talking about weight, we've been talking about eating right, we've been talking about all these things, but it's vitally important for us to talk about our things concerning our personal life, those important papers, things like that, having them in order so that if anything happens, everybody won't be scrubbing around trying to find things that it'll be right there. So I want to say welcome again to everyone. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to let Leslie introduce herself. Listen, she might act like she's a stranger to this, but she's not. She's been on Clubhouse. I don't even go on Clubhouse. I don't like Clubhouse. And she goes on there and with Renee, her and Renee Jackson talks about what organizing your
Mhm.
paperwork and stuff like that.
Multifamily generational.
Generational, yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Leslie, just introduce yourself and thank you so much for being here today. I'm gonna try to be nice, okay?
Well, first of all, thank you, Leslie. One, for pushing me out of the box. Two, for your graciousness of having me on Leslie's Lessons Learned,
I'm
um,
excited about
the
it.
Oprah of our 1212 community. And I'm grateful to be here. My name is Leslie Bournes. So we have Leslie,
Leslie and Leslie,
myself, and
Ellen L is on today.
L and L are on today. So we first of all, I pray that everyone is having a wonderful afternoon, and I am glad to be here. I again, Leslie Bournes. I am the CEO of my household, and what that means is, over several years, I have worked to get things organized in my home. Still continually going through that journey, but in the midst of doing various actions, it prompted me in my spirit that we all can be the CEO of our household. What does that mean? And particularly for self care, it's important, as Leslie talked about. It's managing assignments, looking at who you are, your home, and how can you better manage what you have. What I do is I walk alongside clients to help them with goals that they're trying to meet. I assist in listening to what the plans are to help you categorize what you want to handle. Um, that's general terms. So, a CEO of a business, as you know, has a number of executives that they manage, right? Why not us too be the executives and manage what we have? So you have someone that handles the finances, you have someone that handles um, facilities, you have someone that handles IT. So all of these categories, some of them relate very well to what we do every day. And what I have found over time is we let things go. We day to day we're just living. We get off work, we come home, we take care of whatever those needs are, and we move on. What happens is we lose sight of what we might need to manage, or we could manage it better.
Yeah. So that's good. You know, I was just sitting here thinking, because when even though we're talking about, hey, Tiffany.
Yep,
Uh,
Tiff.
and let me say this before I get go any further. Leslie is one of the sweetest people you will
Mm.
meet. She is so sweet, and she's always thoughtful. You
Bless you.
know, she's putting in the chat something thoughtful. And I'm like, why I didn't think of that, you know? But she makes us look good. She makes us look good. So thank you, Leslie, for making us look good. But she, like I said, she is so sweet. But you know, when you hear the process of that got you to that point, we want to talk about that.
Mhm.
Uh, how you got to that point that you decided to put all these things together because it was a purpose. It was a purpose that got you there, got you started, and
Mhm.
even in getting us started, even in getting you
Brilliant. Yeah,
started, it created the CEO of of the household.
it did. It
And I
did.
want those that come in to realize it's not just for women.
Mm-mm.
This is for women and men alike. That you know, we go out there, we exercise, we try to eat right, we do all those vivid or those visible things correctly, but the back behind things, the things behind the scene, we kind of leave them sometimes untouched. We
Mhm.
leave them undone, and that's why we wanted to come here today and just help you understand what it means to put your things in order. Um, did you count the cost? Are you are you ready if something happened unexpectedly? The is like you said, you had the CEO, you had those that's underneath the CEO, and everybody plays a part. That
Mhm.
person that's going to play a part in your life, do they know where your stuff is?
Mhm.
Do they know what's going on, or is
Right.
everything a secret? Because a lot of times everything's a secret. No
Yes, we've
one
been in
knows.
households for years, and it was a secret, or don't share the information. It starts with something as small as birth certificates. Do you have your own birth certificate? Do you have the certificate of maybe your parents in case something happens? You don't have to go to your local city agency
Vital statistics.
vital statistics to pull that information. You might have a family member that is a veteran, and now you realize they need services. Do you have that DD 214 available?
So
Um,
wait, say that again, because what's
I
the
said
form?
it's called a DD 214.
And a
Uh,
lot of people don't even know about that.
Yep, the Department of Defense, the form, and it lists in that form the service that that person rendered under the Department of Defense, the years of service, where they were located, how much time they have in. But that's so key when you're going to a VA hospital or obtaining VA services, because in order to get into those services, if you didn't register early on, you're retired, or you did your time 10 years or whatever, you need that. And it takes a while to get that when you request it.
Especially with the
Yeah, with
government.
with the government, it takes a while to request that. So that's
Yeah.
a vital document to have a copy of or have it maintained. And we talk about yes, you needed that. You just found out this year when I was making sure my dad was straight that you had to get the DD 214.
Wow.
Um, it is almost like your driver's license for a veteran. That piece of that form will hinder you from getting services. So those things are important. And in this time, I'm a person that deals with paper. I'm from the old old
Me too. Me
um,
too.
but you either have a actual physical copy, or you have a scanned copy, and you maintain that, whether you maintain it in a safe, but it's an important document. So being the CEO of my household, I have had to, in my journey, have documents pulled. Someone I had to get my father's birth certificate years back, so I got his brothers and a couple other people since I was there, and then I kept that. It's information. We in As an individual, whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you are no longer married, but you have a spouse and you have children, that information is vital, and it saves you time. You maintain that, and you could maintain it again electronically. That means scanning a copy of it, putting it on your computer, putting it on a little disk, so that
Yes.
it's readily available, right? You let
So
some.
before you go any further, there's two things
Mhm.
that you mentioned, and one was being single, because a lot of times people think because they're single that they don't need to do all these things.
Mm,
And the other thing is they don't they don't have a significant other, a wife or a husband, so there's nothing to try to have to put together. And
mhm.
the second thing was, I always got to put a plug in there, something I've experienced. So you talked about the birth certificate.
Yeah.
When I was about, I think I was 48 years old, my grandfather passed away, and he had a little file cabinet, those fireproof file
Mhm.
cabinets.
Yeah.
And I was looking for something from one of his jobs he had worked, the job he worked the longest. And at the bottom of the file cabinet, took everything out, was a piece of paper folded up. And I pulled it open. And I said, "What is this?" It was my original birth certificate
Wow.
with my original last name. I didn't even know I was back. I mean, I was what you call it? Um, my father had adopted me. I didn't even know I was
Mm.
adopted. No one ever told me. And when I found it, everybody pretty much had gone on.
Mhm.
And I had a cousin, two cousins. They both passed right around that time. Well, one a little bit later. And my cousin was like, "Well, why you wait till everybody's dead to ask questions?" I said, "I didn't know.
You didn't know.
I didn't
You did
know.
not know.
And I'm just trying to find out." And so she told me about my father. I tell the story. People laugh that she said he was from the West Indies. He
Mm.
was a gangster, and he used to walk around with a shotgun. That's what she said. And then my other cousin
That's in your
found out
blood? Is that in your blood, Leslie?
it's
Is
in my
that
blood. It's in my blood.
little back history on Leslie? Okay, go ahead.
So my other cousin, hey Teresa, hey Alfreda,
Hello,
she,
ladies.
she he was her father's best friend.
Oh,
Her father had just passed away.
oh man.
So only thing she found out for me was his name, and I put it in, and there's millions of them in New York. So I wasn't able to find anything out about him. And she's gone on now. She was trying to get some more information. And at her funeral, my other cousin took me to her father's family and was asking them had they seen him. They said they hadn't seen him in years, but it was just so interesting that he was that close, and I never even knew it.
Wow.
Because we spent time together.
Hmm.
We grew up together, and I had no idea. But yeah, that's my interesting story. So I kept it. I still have it,
Yeah.
and my name was Leslie Brooks, which was my
Okay.
mom's maiden name. And
Mm.
that's what made me question it, Leslie Brooks. And that's
Hmm.
what made me start questioning, and found out that the man she married, that was my father, because he raised me,
Hmm.
had adopted me. But I would not have ever known if I never found that one little piece of paper. So it's vitally that's a whole nother subject right there.
Yeah, because there's the history of your family lineage, and yes, you see those shows. I can't think of the author's name, the gentleman that does. Oh, did you know this about your family? Did
Yes.
you know about the?
Uh-huh. Doctor, what's his name? I
I
know who
can't.
you're talking about
Mhm,
though.
I can't think of his name, but again, that goes back to how important those documents are. Um, I know someone who's, and many people had this done, where their parent lied on their age in order to get them in school. And then when they get their birth certificate, they're like, wait a minute, I thought I was born in this year, but I was really born in this year.
And said,
Yeah.
wait, stop. Yes.
Henry Louis Gates. Thank
Wait,
you so
wait,
much,
wait. Let me
Teresa.
tell you about that real quick. My
It
husband,
happens. They got to do, like, I got my child has to go to school. I'm going to change this year so they can go in school. And then, a couple of years later, you find out, no, I'm not really. 10, I'm 9. I didn't know,
When I got married, my husband had lied about his age. And
Mhm.
guess when I found out? When he died and I looked at his birth certificate.
It's interesting.
So these are real life true
It can
stories.
be. It's true stories. And in this day and time of technology, we're bombarded with passwords. We're bombarded with links to different things we have to sign up for, our bank accounts, our uh, insurance, our health. I had to start putting information in a little booklet. I was like, I got too many
Me
passwords,
too.
and instead of writing them on a piece of paper. And so my daughter knows where this is, my husband knows where it is, and you that's part of structure
Yeah.
and keeping up with your information, because Netflix, your whatever, all of those things, yes, it's too many of them. So
Yes.
that's a part of organization. Again, what what I've worked on, you asked me about my journey getting here. I had to deal with, I was a caregiver for multiple family members. I had one uncle who had an additional family that he loved, and they decided to move him back to DC because he was running out of money. Um, I had to
I like
find,
the way you said an additional family.
yes, this was a family he loved, and they were my family. That's okay. But they no longer were able to care for him. I'll say it that way.
Oh, wow.
And that made me, I was the one, I have been in my family, the go-to. Leslie, do you know about this? How do you do this? Can you help me do that? It's been a part of my journey. Um, had to get him housing, had to get him, all his medical appointments, set him up with the doctors, help him manage his banking and paying for his bills, helped him move a couple of times. And so I was the one that did that. I was a caregiver for aunt, I was a caregiver for my mom. And in those um, experiences, in those situations, I had to manage their affairs. Um,
So
and
let me stop you for a minute. We can
Mhm.
keep going, but sometimes we don't realize what's in us until we have to use it. I
Correct.
want to use Moses for an example, and we talked about this on the live before.
Hmm.
That Moses didn't know what was in him until he was before the burning bush, and he found out he had a mouth, he had a hand, and he had a rod.
Hmm.
And it's the same thing with us and our gifts and those abilities to do things that will cause us to help someone else. We don't know what we have until we use it.
Hmm. That's
He
so
had
true.
to use it. And I always say, while he was in boot camp, he had to learn to use it.
Yes.
And it's the same thing. We go through a boot camp kind of
Mhm.
situation that causes us and helps us learn how to use these things. And it's beneficial, not just to us, but to other people too. And then it's like, wait a minute, maybe this is what's inside of me that I'm supposed to be sharing
Mhm.
and giving out to somebody else. Now I hear you saying your clients,
Yes.
your
Yes.
clients. So
Yes.
I just wanted to,
Yes,
kind of
bring
throw
that
that
kind of
in
full
there.
circle, and it is what is in you. And so those lessons, those experiences, for years, have I've continued to build on, because again, I have been the one that people have gone to, ask questions. How do you handle this? How do you handle that? Be a resource to provide information to people. And for me, in the last several years, I've just honed in more on. Um, I'm laughing at Tiffany's comments. Yes, we sign you up. I have honed in more on really looking at my household as a business. And I want others to look at it as that again, because you've got these funnels, you've got these certain categories that you um, have to handle. Again, whether it's insurance, whether it's the management of your lawn care, or if again, I talk about a single individual that might not necessarily have a family, but you still need to have things in order so people know where things are if, in case something happens. But you might be living in an apartment and you got to use that um, the management company to get things done. You've got to track when you call them. You've got to go write letters sometimes if things aren't handled properly. So that's being the CEO of what you're responsible for. You invest buying furniture, you invest in having your home a certain way. In addition to that, you want to maintain those structures that keep it going. So from a for families, I also like to look at the communication side of the CEO of your household. Everyone should have a role. It shouldn't just be one person that's responsible for handling the bills, the dishes, the whatever. How do you, I have people come together and come up with a strategy of building up our young people so they become more responsible. It's not, let me just do everything, but part of that CEO of that household is encouraging, bringing up leadership of those individuals in your house so it's not all on you. It's not all on one person. It should be a team. When you look at a CEO of a company, they're not doing all the heavy lifting. They're delegating, they're setting a strategic plan, they're coming up with goals and measures, and then it trickles down for everyone else to say, um, to contribute to that so that you move to that goal. So it's um, also part of my journey is has been to go through probate. I've had
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
two probate situations that were challenging, but God has been good to provide good legal staff. And I will say this caveat: I'm not an attorney, I so I don't profess to give out legal advice, but I will help you, uh, you know, have
A system.
assist them in looking for the right resource to help you, assist you with questions that might not you might not have thought of asking to whoever you're obtaining services from, because um, there are things you might not have thought of. So I could assist in saying, well, make sure that your deed, that they're looking at your deed and putting the information correctly on it. Read through it if you want to get your deed changed. It's just Leslie will get your CEO household straight. That's Renee.
So before you go any further, hey Renee,
Hey Renee.
um,
Hey Tiffany.
I got a back message and I didn't
I'll
even
please.
pay it any mind. I put household in there
Mhm.
instead of household.
Oh,
So I
oh,
want everybody to know I made a mistake. That's not anything new, but I want everybody to know. And thank you, Pamela, for pointing it out to me that I made a mistake. But now that I'm thinking about it, it could be a whole house that you need to put in order. But
that's
no,
good.
I
That's
just
good.
want you to know it's been brought to my attention that I made a
Yeah, I
mistake.
didn't even
So
see that, but
yeah.
uh, yeah. So that's what I do. That's what I'm here for. I in the fall I plan to do a workshop um, to talk about some basic things as far as organizing paperwork, um, and start moving forward from there. So yes, I um, work with people, I answer questions, I assist them in various areas, and I enjoy doing it because it helps me. I am a work in progress. I'm still organizing papers. We recently set up an estate, and so we're moving through that process with an attorney, and just trying to make things easier for our family. If there is something that happens, then that information is available. I'll tell you another key point, and that's for people with young children. If you know of a community event somewhere where they are taking fingerprints and pictures,
Yes, I did that with my girls.
yeah,
A
I
lot of
did that.
fire departments will do that
Yep,
at a certain
fire
time of year.
departments.
Yeah.
It is so critical, and it's not so much that for the negative to happen, but you have that information in case you need it. Their fingerprints, a picture, their age,
Yes.
just along with their birth certificate, because you don't know if you need that. And I would say that also with our seniors, or people that we're our caregivers for, because you will get these alerts that someone is missing, and you have a active picture, you have information. um, in the world that we live in, it's unfortunate, but it's better to have um, that information there in your home, as like I said, electronically or paper copy. We're reducing paper, but it's important to have. It's in You don't know, and if you never needed it, that's okay, but you have it just in case.
And
Um,
that's true. I still have my daughters, and I was the
mhm.
other day, I was like, should I get? And I said, no, their
No,
fingerprints never change.
that's right.
So
Yep.
just hold on to it. But
Hmm.
yeah, the fire departments, some police departments, and my oldest daughter, department stores was doing it at a time.
Oh wow, yeah.
And that's where I had hers done
Mhm.
we were in the department store and I had it done there. My other daughter was at the fire department, but it's
Mhm.
just you fill out a form, and they'll take their picture and they'll take their fingerprints and put it in like they put the plastic over it. I can't think of what it's called right now.
Mhm.
Uh, and so you have it for a lifetime.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
have it for a lifetime. If I knew he was going to talk about it, I would have
Well,
for
I
it so
have.
everybody could see it. But I do
Yes.
have theirs
Mhm.
still from when they were little and
Right.
I had it done. So even if their children were little and they're grown now, don't throw it away.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
There's one of
See,
mine.
that's big. See, back in the day, it was on a
Mhm.
card like a ID, like
Yep. Oh, small.
yeah, like a license.
Mhm.
And on the back is the fingerprints, the front is the picture, the
Mhm.
information,
Yeah,
and
Tiffany said it was laminated. That's right.
laminated. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name.
Mhm.
Thank you. Good. Hey, Pastor Jackie, good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Hello,
And to
Pastor Jack.
everyone else that's on, we want to say thank you so much for being here. We hope that you are getting some great information. Charmaine, how are you? Good to see you. Well, I can't see you, but I'm glad you're here. But get some good. It's good information that we really need to home in on because, like I said, we take care of the body, but we don't take care of those important papers that we can that will help us help somebody else take care of us.
Mhm.
So
And
that
you
is
talk about,
vitally important.
yeah, you talk about self-care. Part of that self-care in handling the structures and taking care of the tasks, gives you a peace of mind that that's taken care of. I don't have to worry about that. And um, Tiffany is cutting up. Tiffany chat,
Always, always.
but it's important. So you just look at your household, think about uh, what you want to organize, uh, what you want in order. You think of a car. I'll give a car as an example. When you buy a car, they give you a service plan and they tell you how often to bring it in to get oil change, how often to rotate your tires, how often. So you pay for this car and you're going to do all those things. Well, that same thing applies to your household. How often you're getting your um, AV system checked out? How often do you know where your shutoff valves are in your house? Do you
True.
my husband is a plumber, and my daughter-in-law gave us a card. It is a cue card. It's got a set of heels and a set of work boots.
Really.
So that kind of resonates with us. And I hear him ask people, "Well, where's your shutoff valve? Do you know where it is?" They don't know. It's behind some boxes or something. You got to clear that path. This is part of being a CEO. This is a major thing. If your water starts a pipe burst and it's water flooding, you got to know where to go. Do you have shut off valves under your sink? If you don't, then start getting those things in order, but know where they are. Um, I've been in houses where they have tags that this is the shut off for
Yes.
the gas, this is the shut
Yes.
off for the water. Those are things that are um, help you to be better at taking care of the place that you live in. And
So, Leslie,
yes.
let me say this. Make sure that whoever your construction person that you come in, that uh, person that helps um, add on your home and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
know what they're talking, what they're doing,
Yes.
because some of them hide those things behind a wall. You got to take the wall down, tear
Now.
the wall up to get
Mhm.
to.
Yes, which means vetting out, again, as a resource, vetting out good service persons, because we know in this day and time, and we're, kind of going off here, but people get work done, or you buy a home and it looks beautiful, it appears to be right, but if you don't have the right people, like you said, it could be hidden behind a wall, something is covered up. So again, that's doing the investigation. That's having uh, a well-known, um, credible individual to do an inspection, and you walk with them in that inspection and you ask questions, and you might come back with somebody else and say, I'm looking at the wall, it doesn't look right. It does. I'm not like, I know all this stuff. Over time, you start getting sensitive to, what do I need to look for? Ask the questions. Don't be fast to jump in and take on a responsibility of a property and you haven't had it vetted. You haven't had someone do the inspections. You haven't had questions. You haven't walked outside of it, because it's a lot of shoddy work out here.
It
People are trying
is.
to make a quick dollar, and then the people have to redo whatever they moved into.
Yeah.
But those are just some of the things. I mean, my goal is to, one, continually work on the assignments that I've been given, and that is to be the CEO of my household and help others be the CEO of their household.
And that's so good. This has been so much good information. I want to say happy birthday to Pasha. She has jumped on
Yes.
here. Happy
Hey, Raj,
birthday.
happy birthday.
Uh, so yeah, thank you so much for being here, taking time out of your birthday to come see what we're talking about. So
Hmm.
you said that you're getting ready to have a workshop, and
Hmm.
where could they? Do you have information yet, or it's not?
No, I haven't set a date, but I do have my email address in the link. Leslie put it in there. And I have a Facebook group that you can join. I am being pushed out of the nest to get out
You
there.
were supposed to have a date.
I know it's coming.
You said, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to have my date." I said, "Yeah."
Yeah, I'm supposed to have a date. It's coming. It's coming.
Okay, okay.
Um, and it's the Lord is pushing me to be out there more visibly and to provide the services needed, because there is a need for it, and I have a passion for it. Um, I am just happy that I can share the information. Happy that I can. I'm learning continually of new things, um, and so that's my story. I'm sticking with
You're
it.
sticking with it? Well, I like your story, and I'm glad you're sticking with it. So in the chat, you will see her information.
Mhm.
Uh, get up, become what? How you
Can
say
you
it?
fire your CEO?
Invite. She invite. What you say? Ask her. Join her.
Yeah.
Join her Facebook page.
Mhm.
CEO of the household, not household.
Mhm.
And yeah, I appreciate it. Are there any last words? I'm so tempted to go run and get those the little
The
ID
cards.
cards.
Yeah. Yes.
But
I'm just grateful for you
let me get it real
asking
quick
me.
while you're talking.
I'm grateful for you asking me to be on. I thank you for everyone in the chat. Teresa, I saw you talked about the pipes being looking for the shut off valve in your house. It happens a lot. You just want to, make sure that you know where your insurance papers are, who your contact people are for things that are of importance, where it is organized, um, that you can get to it. Because we go day to day and we don't take care of some of those small things that will be less stressful for us when we get them organized. So I thank you. Tiffany said, "Pull out the calendar." And Posh, we want to wish you a wonderful, happy birthday. Um, Celebrating you on this day. You are so appreciated.
See, I told you Leslie was nice, didn't I?
Boy,
Telling Pa she's appreciating all that stuff.
I thank everybody here.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but I thank you, Leslie,
oh, I'm so
and
glad.
Renee, and Tiffany, Teresa, Pastor Jackie, and there were Frida, a couple other people
Yes,
that came on. So,
I still got all their shots from when they was little.
so a story is I had report cards and all of that. And
Me
I had
too.
certificates, and my son said, I asked him, did he want any of this? He said no. So guess what?
They went
Got
in
rid
the
of it.
trash.
I have some, but I said, what? But really, what is he needed for? He's like, I'm done. That was elementary, junior high, whatever. And so we tend to hold on to stuff. So part of that is
Right.
getting rid of things that we don't need, lessen the load. That's part of self-care as well, because that declutter and get
Yes.
rid of the stuff that we don't need. So,
So
uh,
I done picked up all the wrong papers, but I do have them.
hey, Rick. Tiffany say Rick is trying to fire her. We'll have to see what that entails.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I get off, I'll find it, but it's in here. And this is my original birth certificate I found,
Amazing,
and it
amazing.
was
Make
folded
sure
up
you,
just like this,
hmm
flat
yep.
down at the bottom of the
Make sure you scan that so you
scan
have
it.
it. Because some of the
Okay.
newer birth certificates don't have all the detailed information, like the time you were born, the hospital. When you
Oh, they
order,
don't.
no, a lot of times when you, depending on the county, the state that you live in,
Okay.
um, say for instance, Pennsylvania, you can't find that information out until decades later, and it was set up so that people would not be able to take your information and use it. Um, and the other thing is scams. Be careful with your credit cards, and there's so many scams going on. So yes, scan that birth certificate so you'll have it a soft
Okay.
copy as well.
Okay. Well, guys, I don't even want to get off now because I don't, my cards ain't here.
Can we
But
start
thank you.
fingerprints at the precinct? You can have the so you can send your fingerprints for clean hands. I think it might not be called clean hands, but there is, say you're applying for something, and they whatever agency or company may require you to get your fingerprints, and when you send them to the department, uh, they'll run a search to make sure there's nothing um, you know, negative regarding those. At that point, your fingerprints are then on file. So that can be, I'm pretty sure now it's more national level than local. Used to be local, but through the FBI, those fingerprints are on file. So I would just check with your local police department and see how that works. But
So
I'm pretty sure in this area, Tiffany, it probably goes through the FBI.
this was Adrian's. On the back, they just have her thumbprint,
Yep.
and they
Mm-hmm.
had something for the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
That's just when I did two on her. And then they gave me this, where you can put, as she gets older, different pictures in. Of course, you can only put two pictures in there, but
Right.
I have
Right.
that one, and then I have Ashley's. But yeah, I still have this stuff. Adrian was like 7.
Yep.
I don't know
Thank
whose this
you.
one is.
So
Oh,
all
so Adrian's was big.
mm-hmm.
This was
Yep.
Adrian's,
Mm-hmm.
and the form and put the picture and stuff in there. So yeah, I had to find it now. I was like, wait a minute,
Okay.
but I had it in a separate folder saying fingerprints.
So now you can put that and put it like in a plastic folder or something that seals, and then you've got it all together.
Yeah, this is Ashley's. Her, they
Okay.
did do her
Yep.
full fingerprints, and they put them on the back here. Her
Mm-hmm.
picture on the front, her height,
Oh, it's good. Oh
everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
So it's real.
Yes.
Don't get your children done.
Uh-huh. And like Tiffany said, update the pictures so you have it on
Yeah,
file.
yeah. You update the pictures, and that's why that little card. They give you a little card so that you. Well, some of them I don't know what they do now. So that every year when they get a school picture, you're supposed to put the school picture in there.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Hmm.
I feel better now that I found it.
So now you can just reorganize. What do I need? What I don't need? Put it,
Mhm.
label the birth certificate that you do have in an envelope that is yours. Someone needs to look for it, and some things you can scan and have a soft
Yeah,
copy as well. And then your children need to know where that information is.
yeah. So thank everybody for being here. Thank you, Leslie. This was good information. We'll be expecting and looking for real soon. Did you say October? Is that what I heard?
Yes, it will be October.
Uh-huh. Okay. And what days? What week just about? This
Oh,
what's
we're
this? Second week
yes, we're
of
in the second week
September?
in September. Yes, I will get
So
that date out.
countdown, countdown. Yeah,
Yes,
we're
and
waiting.
yeah, we have waterproof folders. A safe is important, and
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
have it
have
all
to
in
be
the same.
a large safe,
Mm-mm.
um, fire resistant.
That's
Um,
what I have. Yeah.
yeah, you never know when you need to just grab your information, um, and take it with you, or have it at a moment's notice. So yeah.
Yeah, I've had it put in the firebox. I've had it for years, and it's still
Mm-hmm.
it stands the test of time because it's
Yep.
been through. But
Hmm.
you can't tell it.
Yep.
So please make sure that you are being wise with what belongs in. I mean, with your what's in your house, hold, and that you have it organized and yeah, so while we were talking, I had to go back and look at the flyer. I did the same thing on the flyer. So
Mhm.
please forgive me, everybody. But if you see my work, you might say that's Leslie. Hey, Wanda. Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am,
much for
Wanda.
joining us
And
today.
Doreen.
Yes, Doreen, I appreciate it. So we have London in the house, we have Cali in the house, we got Philly in the house, we got Jersey in the house, we got
Maryland,
Maryland in the house, we got Georgia in
DC.
the house.
Mhm.
We have so many in the house today, and we want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Listen, if you did not hear the whole thing, go back and catch the replay. There's some valuable tips in there, and that's what this is called, life changing tips. And we want you to get all the life changing tips that you can get. And we want you to be whole, you know, not just on the outside, not just the physical, and not just what you eat, but how you live,
Mhm.
how your home is, how do you have things organized and in place, because that is just as important and it makes a big difference. So thank you all for being here. We couldn't do it without you.
That's right.
Couldn't do it without you. So please take the time and just start thinking about where your stuff is and start pulling it out, putting it together so that you'll have it when the time is needed. So history cannot be history unless you keep it in a place that somebody else can find it. So make sure that you have your history together so someone else know what's going on in your life. Love you. Hope to see you again. Oh, this Sunday, we have the pastors back on in part two, talking about do pastors have to forgive. Please join us.
Mm.
And next week, my sisters will be here. So
Oh,
two of my
congratulations. How
sisters,
cool.
we're going to be on talking about our book, and because they have written more books, I have a book that's in progress. And we're just going to talk about the one we have out there and what made us write what we wrote in the book. So please join us. I'm excited. I'm excited to every time I see you, every time I see someone joining, it just excites me so much to know that the information is valuable enough for you to come back and want to hear what we have to say. So until we meet again, I want you to have an amazing day the rest of the week. And remember that I love you, but most of all, Yahweh loves you more. I guess I should have said, do you have anything else, Leslie, before we
I
close out?
just thank you again for the opportunity. I appreciate you having me and everyone that's joined. So thank you so much.
See you the next time, guys. Thank you.
Take care.